Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Ed Gardner in an episode of Duffy's Tavern as we go back to January 5th, 1951. Guest star Vincent Price as Archie plans to convert the tavern into a club for actors. By the way, this show was not recorded in New York or in Hollywood. It was recorded in Puerto Rico. Ed Gardner moved production there thinking that they could get a TV deal, and the tax implications of being in Puerto Rico would have helped a lot. Of course, the TV show never happened, and that happened. Anyway, Duffy's Tavern from January 5th, 1951.
Here we go, friends, to Duffy's Tavern with our guest, Vincent Price, and starring Archie himself, Ed Gardner.
Hello, Duffy's Tavern. Where do you meet to eat? Archie the manager speaking. Duffy ain't here. Oh, hello, Duffy. Hey, guess who's coming down tonight? One of the finest actors of our day, Duffy. No, not Dustin Farnham. No, not Hobart Bosworth. Duffy, I said our day, not yours. It's Vincent Price, Duffy. You know the guy. He plays the hate interest in them psychopathical murder dramas. You know, he's always the louse. Pictures, when Price says, I think I'll take the head off, he ain't talking about a beer. Yeah, he does all them dirty, nasty characters, though, in a real suave manner, sort of a soft-spoken loudmouth. With that sweet, soothing kind of a voice. You don't know whether you should listen to it or pour it on a waffle. But in person, Duffy, he's different. He's every inch a gentleman, with lots of savoir-faire, the type of a guy you just know that he looks dignified in his long underwear. And how's the crowd here? Oh, it's the usual after the night court crowd. Huh? Well, look, I got an idea how we can swank up the place if you listen. Well, look, Duffy, who are the biggest spenders? Actors, see? And it's obvious why. You see, actors never have any dough. But they don't want nobody to know it. So, ergo, they spend it like mad. Yeah, well, my idea is to turn this joint into an exclusive private club where only actors can be members, see, like the Lambs Club. Yeah, well, we'll get Vincent Price and call it the Hams Club. Yeah. All right, I'll call you back, Duffy. Hey, Eddie, now look, I want this club to be different. Now, the first thing we do is to drill one of them peek holes in the door, huh?
Well, why does this hole in the wall need a hole in the door?
Eddie, every club's got one, so that sort of management can look out and see that nobody gets in but bona fide members.
Well, now, Mr. Archie, how are you going to get any actors to join this club?
By signing up Vincent Price. You see, Eddie, we've built a better mousetrap here, but in order to catch the right mice, we have to bait the trap with the proper piece of cheese. Namely, Vincent Price.
Mr. Archie, what could a man like Mr. Price do in a dump like this?
All the things he's accustomed to.
Not if he's accustomed to breathing.
Okay, so we'll air condition the joint.
We tried that once, and you remember what happened?
What?
The airway crawled back into the bottle.
This time we'll hold it out with pliers. Now, what else do we need for the club? Oh, yeah, we'll need a game room.
Game room?
Yeah, that back room where we keep the pig's feet.
Yeah, that's pretty gamey, all right.
Archie,
Yes, Miss Duffy?
I want to ask you something very important.
What is it?
If a fella says, "Dearest beloved, I love you more than the sun, the moon, the stars, more than life itself. Be mine, beautiful Miss Duffy, be mine." Is that committing himself?
Well, yes and no.
What do you mean, yes and no?
Yes and no guy in his right mind would say it.
Well, it so happens that it was said to me by my boyfriend, Rodney Maximilian Haybinder.
Hey, Miss Duffy, you still interested in that bum?
Bum?
You heard me.
Archie, it so happens that at Barnaby's Barber College, Rodney is the only one to hold a safety award.
Really? A safety award?
Yes. He's the one man in his class that they trust to singe sideburns without the professor standing by with a fire extinguisher.
What'd they give him for the reward? A hot towel with his name lathered on it? Are you kidding, Miss Duffy? This guy really goes to a barber college?
You think I run around with illiterates? Here, look at this letter.
Let me see. Darling Miss Duffy, I thought about you all today at shaving class. Look, this letter is a little too mushy for me. Maybe you better read it. What happened to him at shaving class?
Well, let's see. So, dearest, the professor gave me 4 demerits just for a tiny nick a customer noticed on his earlobe. And, darling, I'm really surprised he noticed it, as the earlobe was on the floor at the time. Then, in my confusion, I made matters even worse by giving the customer somebody else's earlobe.
I don't know what kind of a barber this guy is, but he certainly writes beautiful love letters. Huh? Miss Duffy, you know, you're really a lucky girl. It's a lucky thing that the guy didn't go to a guillotine college. Customers be walking around without heads.
Hello, Arch.
Oh, hiya, Finnegan.
Oh, hello, Finnegan.
Good evening, Miss Duffy. My, you look pretty.
Thank you, Finnegan.
Every day you look better. Yesterday you looked better than the day before, and today you look like the morning after.
Well, thank you.
Oh, don't mention it. Say, Arch, I hear you're starting a new club.
That's right.
Is it going to have dames in it?
No, Finnegan, no dames. It's going to be strictly non-sextarian.
So in that case, I think I'll just stick to the YWCA.
Finnegan, the YWCA is for women only.
It is?
Yeah.
No wonder they keep throwing me out of the steam room.
Look, Finnegan, the club that I'm going to have here is just going to be for actors, but if you'd like to join, I'll use my influence to get you in.
No, thanks, Arch. I'm too particular.
What do you mean, particular?
You think I'd join a club that takes people like me?
I think you got a point there, Finnegan.
Besides, I belong to too many clubs already.
What clubs do you belong to?
Oh, the Lonely Hearts Club, the Al Flairden for President Club. That was disbanded, by the way. Nobody told me why. Oh, then I belong to the Book of the Month Club.
You belong to the Book of the Month Club?
Yeah, I have a special membership. They just sent me the pictures.
That's a very good club, that Book of the Month Club. Do you attend their meetings?
It's a funny thing, Arch. They don't have meetings.
Really?
Nope. No meetings, no parties, no ball team. Personally, I think the whole thing is a scheme to sell books.
Would you like to have some fun? Why don't you go over to that stove in the kitchen and stick your head in the oven? Maybe your brains will expand.
Good idea, Arch. I'll set the oven for a slow broil.
Yeah. And every 5 minutes, I'll come in and baste you. Now, Eddie, did you start fixing up the game room?
Not yet.
Well, when you do, I got a terrific idea. See, we'll get a dartboard and some darts so that the actors can really have a lot of fun with themselves.
How?
We'll cover the dartboard with pictures of their agents.
January 5th, 1951, Duffy's Tavern here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks so much for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now from January 5th, 1951, more of Duffy's Tavern.
Well, Eddie, the game room looks pretty good here, except for one thing.
What's that?
I don't think our more conservative members will like this picture of September morn. Tell you what you do.
What?
Put a hatchet in her hand, and we'll call it Custer's Last Stand. Now, let's see. What else does the club need?
Members?
Members? Oh, don't worry, Eddie. With Vincent Price joining up, we'll have all the actors from Hollywood dropping in.
Well, if they're going to drop, this is the place to do it.
Hello? Oh, hello, Duffy. You been thinking it over and you want to join the Actors Club? Duffy, you an actor? You get stage fright when you have to call out your floor in a crowded elevator. But, Duffy, I'm telling you, the place is strictly for actors. Now, look, holler and take it off. At a burlesque show, don't make you no actor. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll compromise you. I'll make you the chairman of the membership committee. But remember, no fair blackballing guys just 'cause they ain't Irish. Okay, Duffy. Now, Eddie, I gotta get this dart game set up. Where's the pictures of them agents?
Right here.
Yeah, the agents' pictures, yeah. You know, they ain't gonna be easy targets.
Why not?
Even in the pictures, their eyes keep shifting back and forth. Wait a minute, Eddie. Eddie, did you notice that?
What?
A dart just hit that agent right in the middle of his package.
Then our first actor must be here.
He is the spotlight, if you please.
Well, it's Vincent Price. Well, good evening, Mr. Price. Leave me dub you welcome to this distinguished establishment. And furthermore...
Thank you, Archie, and may I say...
Just a minute. Leave me further say, Mr. Price, that seldom have we behooved such an august presentiment to these confines. And further besides...
Now, Archie, if you don't mind, I'd like to...
Please. I ain't through. The man is in love with the sound of his own voice. Now, let me see. Oh, and feel assured, Mr. Price, that your visit is a bereavement from which we will not soon recover. If there's anything you desire, or call.
There's just one thing I would like.
What?
An edgewise.
An edgewise?
Yes, so I can put a word in.
Okay, what's the word?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, but you just got here.
Can you think of a better time to leave?
Leave, but you ain't had anything to eat yet.
What? Eat here in this moldy mocambo? I'd sooner die.
There is no sooner way.
Quiet, Eddie. Well, Vincent, I'm glad I'm finally meeting up with you, you know, especially after so many of our friends have said that we resemble each other.
Our friends say that?
Yeah, lots of them.
Then let us be known by our enemies.
I'm glad to see that you're a philosopher about it, Vincent. I didn't get sore neither. But, you know, as I look at the both of us, I can see the resemblance. Take our builds. We're about the same height, and, what do you weigh?
About 190.
Well, there you got about 90 pounds on me. And of course, me shoulders is a little narrower than yours.
Oh, Archie, they only seem narrower because your ears stick out so far.
Well, that's logical. But you believe me, Vincent, you darken me up a little, give me an hour with a curler, dab a little makeup on me, and I'd look enough like you to spit at your image. But there's one way in which you and me is different.
Thank heavens for that. What is it?
Our diction.
Oh, yes, of course. Our addiction.
Yeah, yours is lousy. Yeah, me, I like to use big words, you know?
Big words, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I can think of one right now.
Oh, yeah? What's yours?
I hesitate to tell you.
I bet I can think of an even longer one. In fact, I started using big words the minute I learned how to talk.
How old were you when you learned how to talk?
19. See, and by that time I was already in college.
You went to college?
How do you think I got so cultured?
You are cultured?
You don't believe it? Recite some Shakespeare to me. I'll show you how intelligent I can look.
Well, I doubt it, Archie, but you arouse my curiosity. Very well. He jests at scars that never felt a wound. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun.
Hey, Arch.
Yeah, Finnegan?
Who's the mushmouth?
What's the matter? You sore because someone stole your forehead?
Hey, Arch. Can I punch this guy in the nose?
Please, no. Just reply in a gentlemanly manner that you never had a forehead.
Okay. Look, Bud, I never had a forehead. Arch, now can I punch him in the nose?
Vinny, please, no fisticuffs. Mushmouth here happens to be a gentleman. Perhaps I better introduce you. Vincent Price, Clifton Finnegan. Highbrow, no brow.
Okay, Bud, let's shake hands and be friends.
Isn't there a more sanitary way?
Hey, I remember you. I seen you in that picture, The Three Mosquitoes.
And again, that's the Three Musketeers, not mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah? I seen it in an open-air movie in Jersey.
Oh, and I thought all that slapping was applause.
Look, Finnegan, next time you go to an open-air movie, instead of popcorn, you better take DDT.
It don't work, Arch.
What's wrong with it?
The stuff tastes lousy.
Did you ever try citronella with a scoop of ice cream?
Hey, Bud, ain't you a little nuts?
Look, Vincent, you'll have to excuse Finnegan. You see, just before he was born, his mother had a bad case of fright.
Oh, what happened?
His father walked into the room. Well, at least you met the guy.
Say, Arch.
Oh, good heavens, he's back in a wig.
Now, Vince, this is Miss Duffy, man's best friend.
Well, Miss Duffy, I can't tell you how happy it makes me to have this opportunity of meeting you.
This guy's a better actor than I thought he was.
Oh, shut up, Archie. Oh, Mr. Price.
Yes?
I'm not doing anything tonight.
That does not surprise me.
You didn't give me a chance to finish.
He was hoping he wouldn't give you a chance to start.
Archie, please. What I was wondering, Mr. Price, is whether you would like a date with me tonight.
Oh, but Miss Duffy, what about my wife?
I'll let her get her own date.
Oh, but I can't possibly go out tonight.
Why not?
Just look at this horrible haircut some idiot gave me.
Barber college job if I ever seen one. What'd the guy do, cut it or chew it off?
No, Archie, that's not the worst part. I also got a shave, and just look at these earlobes.
What about them?
They don't match.
Oh, so you're the one who caused all that trouble for Rodney.
Look, Miss Duffy, please, someone would like to see you outside.
Who?
Me. Now get out of here. Now, Vincent, leave us get to the point. We're turning Duffy's into a high-class actors club, you see, very ulterior. And, we'd like you to be the first member.
The first and only?
Well, not the only member. After you find out how wonderful and exclusive the club is, we'll naturally expect you to suck in some of your friends. Well, What do you say to our new Lambs Club?
And the conclusion of Duffy's Tavern, not a bad show, from January 5th, 1951. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Now the conclusion of Duffy's Tavern with Vincent Price as the guest from January 5th, 1951.
No kidding, Vince. This club's gonna be wonderful. Just picture a warm, luxurious room, a roaring hearth in the fireplace. Low lights, you know, and soft dive-ins. Them little day beds. Pictures of great actors hanging on the wall. Edwin Booth, Sarah Bernhardt, Richard Mansfield, Abbott and Costello, Maury Amsterdam. All of them.
What about my picture?
Your picture, yeah. I think I have the very place to put it.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, you ain't heard me out. We'll hang it in a place of honor. Under the pig's feet.
Under them? Don't I even get top billing?
Why should you? After all, don't forget the pig's feet have been here longer than you have. Well, what do you say? Will you join if I can get you in?
Well...
Good. Oh, just excuse me. Hello? Hello, Duffy. We got good tidings. Vincent Price wants to join the club. What? Duffy, I can't do that. No, you can't with a guy like Price. Okay. Mr. Price.
What?
The chairman of the membership committee desires you to audition.
Audition?
Yeah. You see, this club is only for actors, and the chairman has certain doubts.
Well, hasn't he seen any of my pictures?
That's what gave him the doubts.
Tell him to go soak his head.
Right now, he's too busy with his feet. Now, what do you say? Will you give the audition?
I'm sorry I can't.
Why not?
Well, as I said, if I auditioned for that horrible Duffy, I'd be a bigger ham than I think I am, and I couldn't be.
Don't worry, you are. So what do you say? Duffy's listening.
Well, all right. I'll start off with a recitation.
Good. Why don't you give him a little of that Shakespeare, huh?
Very well. To be or not to be, that is the question.
Hold it, Vince. Hello? Okay, Duffy. Not to be. Look, Vince, don't you know no songs or jokes?
Yes, I know some jokes.
Well, go ahead and spring one. Duffy likes jokes.
Oh, well, very well. Here's a very funny one.
Great so far.
Well, it goes like this. You see, a little boy left his home, and he didn't come back for 6 years.
Uh-huh.
When he returned, he knocked on the door, and his mother said, "Hello, Cookie." So the little boy said, "Why do you call me Cookie?" And the mother answered, "I call you Cookie because you've been a wafer so long." A wafer so long. Do you get it, Archie?
I got it, but I don't think it's going to stay with me.
Well, I know an even funnier one.
Impossible. How does this one go?
Well, it goes like this. Pat says to Mike, he says, "I just received a letter from my sister. She must be very ill." So Mike says to Pat, "Really? How do you know?" So Pat replies, "Well, she started the letter by saying, 'I'm in Chicago sick.'" Oh, Archie, I'm afraid I messed it up. I should have said, "I'm in Chicago ill."
Mr. Price. It just happens that joke just reached Chicago dead. Better tell another one, Vincent, but not quite so funny this time. I don't want to split any spleen.
Well, Archie, do you think Duffy knows the one about the woman who says, I just bought a dog, and the man says, spit? And the woman says, nobody drools a little.
Hello? Okay, Duffy. Well, Vince, so much for jokes. What else can you do?
Well, I can sing a bit.
You can sing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, take a try at it.
Well, very well. Stand back now. You made me what I am today. I hope you're satisfied. You dragged and dragged me down until the hope within me died.
I think what's going to happen with the club.
You shattered each and every dream.
Vince.
You fooled me from the start.
Vince.
The curse of an aching heart.
Hello? What? Well, how would you like to be standing right here next to it? Huh? Okay, I'll tell him. Mr. Price.
Yes?
The chairman of the membership committee has decided your case in the affirmative. You're out. Furthermore, the chairman has asked me to dissolve the club, so you have earned a rare distinction, Mr. Price.
Well, what do you mean?
This is the first time in history that an entire club has resigned from a member. Good evening. Good evening.
Not only that, but that band should be banned. January 5th, 1951, Duffy's Tavern on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And the phone ringing means it's time on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox to find out what's going on with Lum and Abner. January 5th, 1944.
Granny's, Abner. I believe that's our ring.
I dog it, Lum. I believe you're right.
I'll see. Hello, jot 'em down, store. This is Lum and Abner.
And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, L. Edwards, motion picture executive, was virtually wiped out yesterday when his theater burned to the ground. Inasmuch as he had failed to protect himself with fire insurance, his loss was complete. As we look in on the little community today, we find Abner, Grandpappy Spears, and Mousie Gray in the Jot 'em Down store and library discussing this calamitous event.
You mean that Lum didn't have any fire insurance on the theater at all?
No, sir, Mousie. No, there's no fire insurance. Ain't that right, Abner?
Yeah, some feller by the name of Taylor in there at the county seat been trying to get Lum to take out some, but he just kept putting it off.
Yeah, that Taylor feller called just yesterday again, didn't he?
Yeah, and Lum claimed he's too busy to see anybody. Told Cedric if anybody wanted to see him, they had to make a appointment or something with him.
Jiminy, I bound you old Lum wishes he hadn't been so all-fired high and mighty now.
Well, you know how Lum is. Always wants to have folks to think he's a big executive, you know.
If he'd just come down off of his pigeon-toed high horse yesterday and talked to that insurance feller, why, he could have told him to slap his name on a policy and he'd be a rich man, collecting all that money.
Yeah, of course, so that might have looked sort of cute, your grandpap. Him taking out a policy just an hour before the picture show burnt down looked sort of like he done it on a purpose.
Well, the insurance company would have had to prove that first, though.
Yeah, sure.
They already know how the fire started. Nothing.
Well, how did it start, Grandpa?
Oh, That ain't importance, Mousy. How it started, it started. That's
Well,
all.
go on,
Just forget
Grandpap.
it.
Tell Mousy
We know
how
the
it
place
started.
burned down.
Well, you just tell him how it started.
Well,
now.
they don't know for sure.
They do, don't it?
It ain't positive, though. I believe they're mistaken, anyhow.
I'll tell you, Mousy. Grandpap laid his pipe down over there yesterday afternoon while he's doing something to the player piano, and he forgot
Ain't
it.
a word of truth in that, Hardly.
Must have laid the pipe right in amongst some of the piano music rolls, and they catched on fire.
There ain't nothing to that, Mousy.
That's what Dick Cuddleston and Uncle Henry Lunsford figured at how the fire started.
Sassy Fresh. Sassy Fresh.
What Lum ought to do is make you pay for everything he lost.
Well, I never done it on a purpose, Abner. That is, if I had a done it, it wouldn't have been did on a purpose. But I never.
Yeah, they ought to arrest you for something, though.
Well, now, listen here, Abner. Don't forget I lost my nine more than Lum did in that fire.
You did?
Why, sure. I lost my best pipe, a 75 center, French briar. And that was my player pioneer over there, too. Don't forget that.
That's right, that was yours, wasn't it?
And the music rolls that went with it.
Well, yeah, but that ain't nothing compared to what Lum lost. That picture screen and a projections machine, a batch of films, and all them chairs. And he was just renting the chairs, so now he'll have to pay for them.
Gee, he won't have any money to pay for 'em either, will he?
Oh, of course
Taking
not,
the words
Mousy.
right out of my mouth then, Mousy.
Yeah, he ain't got a cent left. Then the building belonged to Dick Huddleston, too. Used to be the cotton warehouse. I reckon Lum will have to pay for that.
Yeah, I'll never get another pipe like that, and had her broke in just right, too. Worst part about it was half full of tobacco. I hadn't smoked it up, I recollect that.
You must not have if it kept burning there and set the place on fire.
I'm the unluckiest feller that ever lived, I believe.
Well, I don't know about that, Grandpap, but if I was you, I'd just be careful where I laid my pipe down from now on. And don't lay it down around the store here. I don't want you to burn my place down, I know that. No, sir, I sure don't.
No, I'll never get another pipe like that.
Well, what's Lum going to do now, Abner?
Oh, I don't know what he's aiming on doing, Mousy. I know he's planning to open up some other picture shows over in Odin and Cherry Hill and a couple of other towns, but I don't reckon he'd got 'em started yet, had he, Grandpap?
Well, sir, the bowl of that pipe was kicked up mighty nigh perfect, sweet as a hickory.
Well, I know Lum hadn't started a Mousy, so I don't know where he'll turn to next.
Sweet as a hickory nut.
Well, doesn't Lum own any of the Jot 'em Down store anymore, Abner?
Oh, no, he drawed up agreement giving him the picture show and me the store, and then we both signed it. Facts is, just before the picture show burnt down, I was begging Lum to take me back in with him. He wouldn't do it. No, he wouldn't do it at all. I begged him to.
Oh, well, gee, you sure were lucky, weren't you?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Abner's lucky and I'm unlucky. That's the way it goes. Now, I wouldn't have cared if it was just a little old cheap pipe, but I paid 75 whole pigeon-toed cents for that thing.
Grandpap, I wish you'd stop talking about that pipe.
It was caked just right, too.
If I was you, I'd never want to think about that thing again, all the damage it's done.
It never started that place on fire. I know it never.
Say, Abner, do you think that Lum will want to get back in the store now?
Well, I sort of got my doubts, Mousy. You know how proud Lum is, and how stubborn-headed, too. He'll never want to admit to me that he made a mistake, I know.
Oh, yeah, you're dead right about that, Abner. Lum would never in the world admit he done wrong yesterday by not taking you back into partnerships with him and getting his half of the store back again. No, not him.
Gee, he wouldn't have anything to worry about if he'd done that, would he?
Of course not. He'd be out a picture show, but he'd have a store to fall back on here.
Well, I just feel downright sorrowful for old Lum. No money, ruin, might be hungry for all I know.
Well, I wouldn't feel sorrowful for Lum. He's always got new ideas he wants to take up, always some big business he wants to get into.
Well, yeah, he has ideas, all right. I'll say that for him, big uns.
Yes, sir, you got to hand it to old Lum for that. I bound you he studied up some big idea already. Might be aiming to make a fortune out of it.
Well, that'd be awful nice for him if he could do something like that.
If you want to feel sorrowful for somebody, feel sorrowful for me. Here, I've lost the best pipe money can buy.
For goodness
So broke
sake,
up over, they can't hardly
Grandpap.
talk.
Well, don't keep talking about that. That's all I've heard. Swan too good.
Sweetest smoking pipe in the whole state of Arkansas. Sweet as a hickory nut.
Well, you can get another one like it, Grandpap.
I'm in a rut. I keep saying that, don't I?
Yeah, Ed Beckley's got some 75 centers over at his drugstore.
But he ain't got one like that in mine, though. There was something about that pipe. I don't know what it was, but it was different. Pipes is sort of like humans, you know, when you boil it right down. All look alike on the outside. But now you take the case of Orlo Wormley. Now, there was a
Hey,
fellow...
Dogus, wait a minute, Grandpap. Look out yonder. Yonder.
Orlo Wormley was a man... Lum?
Lum, coming in.
Hi, Jiminy, it is him, ain't it?
Oh, gee, I haven't seen him since the fire.
Bound you, he's got himself all set up in business again.
I hope
Can't
he
wait
has.
to hear
I
what it
sure
is.
do. Well, howdy, Lum, old boy. Come on in here.
Yeah, howdy, Abner. Hello there, Mousy.
Hello, Lum.
Yeah, how are you, Lum? Oh, just fine, Grandpap. Fine and dandy.
You're looking good.
Oh, yeah. I never felt better, I reckon.
Gee, I sure was sorry to hear that your theater burned down, Lum.
Yeah, that's bad, but that's the way it goes with us big executives. Have to take them chances.
Yes.
One day we're millionaires, and the next day we're wiped out. Ruined. But we come right back again, build up another fortune.
Oh, gee.
See what I tell you, Abner?
Yeah.
Yeah, fellers like me, big financiers, we live dangers that way. Awful dangers. We expect them things, you know, and we love it. Wouldn't live no other way.
Yeah, well, Lum, I was just thinking now if you need a few dollars to...
Dollars? Well, I don't need none of them. I can get all them I want.
Oh?
That's what I was telling you, Abner. I bound you already got yourself into new business, ain't you, Lum? Well, yeah. Got several big things lined up, sorta. Don't know which one of them I want yet. Might have to go out to Hollywood.
Hollywood?
Yeah, they're sort of anxious to get me out there, as long as I know the moving picture business well now.
Well...
Expecting a call from them any minute.
Well, I do know. Good for you.
Well, I just thought I'd drop in and say hello. I'm just on my way to supper. Any of you fellers going home to supper now?
Well, no, I can't leave yet, Lum. It ain't closing time.
I ain't hungry myself. Well, I better get going then, down to the restaurant. You know, that restaurant food ain't been agreeing with me lately.
It ain't, huh?
No, when you come right down to it, there ain't nothing like a good home-cooked meal.
No, they ain't, no.
Yeah, I agree with you, Lum.
Yeah.
You're right about that. Well, I better run along. Mousy, you ain't going home to supper long about now, are you?
No, sir, Gussie won't have it ready yet, Lum.
Uh-huh. Well, I better get going. You know, it's a peculiar thing how a supper always tastes better when you eat it with somebody else instead of by yourself. I don't know, just tastes better somehow or other.
Yeah, well, I never had noticed. Of course, I don't generally eat by myself, though.
Well, you ought to try it. It's no good at all.
Tain't, huh?
Well, I reckon I better be running along. Do wish I had somebody to eat with, though.
Well, now, wait a minute, Lum. I believe I got an idea.
You have? What is it?
Well, I'll just close up the store early, and we'll go and eat together down there at the restaurant.
Oh, the restaurant, huh?
Now, why don't you come along with us, Grandpa?
Yeah, I believe I will, as long as this is on long.
Why, sure, we'll have a good time
wait
here.
just a minute now. Are you sure we want to eat down at that old rundown restaurant, though?
Well, I don't know no other place around here to eat.
Of course, all you can get there is restaurant food, you know.
Well, natural, sure.
You don't get them home-cooked suppers there.
Oh, no, of course not, no.
About the only place you can get a home-cooked supper is in a home.
Yeah. Well, I'm sort of sick of them home-cooked meals anyway, Lum. Don't worry about that. I'll enjoy the change, something wonderful. Come on, Grandpap, let's go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
How about you, Mousy?
Wait now, just a minute, fellers. Before we rush out, there's a little business matter I got to take care of.
Why, sure, go ahead. What is it you got to do, Lum?
Well, it's still sort of confidential. Can't tell you right now.
Oh, I see.
Mousy, could I see you out in front of the store a half a minute?
Why, yes, sir.
Well, come on in.
Yes,
This'll just take a second, fellers.
Yeah, all right. We'll be getting our coats on. Come on, Grandpap, let's get ready. Doggies, I'd give anything in the world to know what it is that him and Mouse are talking about.
Well, it's some big business deal, I know that.
Oh, bound to be. Don't reckon he's going to take Mousy along with him out there to Hollywood, do you? Make a moving picture actor out of him.
Well, I tell you, nothing surprised me. When that Lum gets to studying on something, wait a minute, there comes Mousy back.
Huh? Oh?
I wish he'd tell us what it's all about.
Yeah,
I can't
me
wait
too.
to
I'm
hear.
just dying and all. Say, fellas, Lum's awful sorry, but he can't take you to supper tonight after all.
He can't?
No, sir. Well, it seems that somebody's invited him over to their house for supper.
Somebody has.
Yeah.
Who is it, do you know?
Well, as near as I can figure out, it's me.
fishing for supper, January 5th, 1944. Lum and Abner here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Please thank this station and support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time you roll around here on your favorite station. If you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available on demand at classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows, learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can find our social media links there. You can contact me. And if you want to help us support keeping our distribution channels open, free, and clear, and also to help us acquire additional classic radio broadcasts to bring to you here, you can buy me a coffee. That's what that buy me a coffee money does. Helps us acquire additional classic radio collections. Thanks for tuning in. Thank this station. Support their advertisers. Tell your friends of great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.